welcome, Stacey, to the Flawless Growth podcast. I am very, very excited to have you here.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you having me.
Absolutely. Okay, so let's start it out with those who may not know you. Can you give a quick intro about yourself and also what you do at Pure Sweat and Float Studio?
Yeah, so I'm Stacey Millhorn, and we were raised in Florida, did a little stint through Nashville, and now we're in Park City, Utah. And I was in the pharmaceutical industry for 27 years. But I started exploring alternative health and wellness for myself for chronic pain,
Wow.
sleep, just overall health and wellness and longevity, and found Pure Sweat in Nashville and was introduced to sunlight and saunas that we can talk about more,
Mhm.
and float therapy, and found great relief and also just overall health benefits from it. So we opened our studio a little over 2 years ago here in Park City.
Very nice. Congratulations. That's such a
Thank
jump.
you.
Like who would have thought sometimes like you were in a job before, right? So in a
Oh,
job
yeah.
for so long, 27 years, and then deciding to go into the entrepreneurial route. So that's
Yes.
admirable.
Oh, well, thank you. It's been a big learning lesson. It's been exciting.
Amazing. And you touched a little bit about chronic pain. Were you having issues with that?
Yeah, so I
Mhm.
suffer from chronic migraine, and
Mm.
then I have a full shoulder replacement. So I had
Gotcha.
just some tendon joint stuff, things going on. And so the chronic migraine can also activate a lot of neuromuscular as far as like neck and jaw.
Mhm.
I'm currently in a neuromuscular device, though still working on some of the things. But I was in my 30s and just was prescribed medication after medication, something to sleep, something for pain, something for inflammation. And I just did not want to be the person with the bag of meds going to the doctor. So
Yeah.
started looking into, what were some other ways to maybe alleviate chronic pain, and found that in the infrared saunas.
Very interesting. I can tell you that I've been also suffering from chronic pain, shoulder as well, left
Oh,
shoulder, for 3.5 years. I just got out of surgery 2 months ago, actually.
oh,
And I've been also, well, I haven't done infrared saunas, but I've been starting to do the sauna. I try to do it like 3 times a week just to, because I've heard it helps you to, with the inflammation and also to relax. So I'm super excited to learn more about it because I didn't really know a lot about infrared saunas.
yeah. So are you utilizing a traditional sauna? They're really hot, like at a
Yeah,
health club or a gym.
correct. Uh-huh. That's what I'm doing.
Okay, so big differences between, and Connie Sack, the CEO of Sunlight, and we actually had the opportunity to have a call with her. And so she did such a beautiful job explaining traditional versus infrared, and then infrared versus sunlight and infrared. So, traditional saunas that most people are used to, you walk in, typically they're communal, they're very hot. And so
Hmm.
typically there's a warning that says don't stay in, longer than 10 minutes.
Yeah.
For me, I walk in and feel like it's
Me
difficult to
too.
breathe. And I just start counting 1 to 60 as many times as I can just to keep myself in there. But essentially, what Connie describes is that that's heating. It's the middleman. It's heating the air around you. The difference with the infrared is an invisible wavelength of light, and it's actually, part of the sun's rays. And you need to be close to it for it to be effective. But infrared penetrates your body. So
Mhm.
instead of heating the air around you, the infrared's going in and activating you at a cellular level. Sunlighten has patented their far infrared. They've been around for 25 years. They're the industry leader. They
Mhm.
continue to upgrade and modify, and there's more and more data now that's coming out on the benefits of infrared. But with the infrared sauna versus traditional, you get a 30% greater detox, again,
Mm.
because it's heating you. The far infrared, if you think like organs and blood, so it's penetrating your body the farthest. So great for immunity, weight loss, and detoxification, whether that's from mold or heavy metal.
Mhm.
A lot of detox can happen in that space. And then for me, and I think what might be helpful for you with your shoulder is that mid light. So that mid range targets muscles, tendons, and joints. So for me, that's really where the pain starts to decrease, the inflammation comes down, things like rheumatoid arthritis,
Mhm.
whether it's acute pain, people that have come off the mountain, unfortunately, that have gotten injured or playing pickleball or
Yeah.
something like that. They do find a lot of relief using the saunas. And then the near wavelength is the nearest to your skin. So it's penetrating your body the least. It does penetrate your body further than red light.
Mhm.
But it's again, it's an invisible wavelength. And so think just above the muscle through the skin. So collagen production, wound healing. So if you have a scar from that surgery,
Mhm.
it's going to help promote wound healing in that area.
Wow, that is super interesting. I didn't know all of this. I'm definitely gonna look. I am in Florida, so I'm gonna
Oh
look if
yeah,
there's any place close by because I've never even heard about it before. So wow, I love it because I've tried everything, and of course I'm gonna keep trying. I'm not gonna give up.
absolutely.
Yes.
Yes, well, it'll help you heal and get your mobility,
Hmm.
keep your range of motion. So definitely Google sunlight and sauna near me.
Okay. Yes, we'll do. Beautiful. And so your pain is much better now, right?
It
Oh,
is, yes.
amazing.
And so the other thing, when we were in Nashville, so being Florida kids, moving to Nashville, I didn't realize how much different the weather would be. Like I
Mm.
realized it would be cooler in the winter, but I ended up getting seasonal affect just because there were heavy weeks of gray, kind of just gloomy
Uh-huh.
days. And so the sunlight and the saunas also help with that. And so we have found
Mm.
in Park City, we've had a couple winters that were really bad. So sleep, mood, hormone regulation. So there's a lot going on all at the same time.
Right, of course. I just got blood work and my vitamin D was very low. And I think this is something that's happening more and more because we're always in the computer. We don't go out as much. So I would say
Yeah.
that that helps with that as well, probably, right?
Yeah, and I
Uh-huh.
know a lot of the longevity experts now are saying even if we're in I mean, Park City is very sunny and we're obviously at elevation, but even
Uh-huh.
still, a lot of us are vitamin D deficient. So
Yeah.
supplementing with vitamin D can be so good for you,
Yeah.
obviously based on your individual body. But yeah, we
Mhm.
wear sunscreen, we block our eyes
Yes.
with
Mhm.
sunglasses, we are inside more. It's the risk benefit of the sun versus exposing yourself to too much sun and then
Uh-huh.
potentially getting cancer or something like that. So yeah, vitamin D, I take vitamin D myself.
Yeah, me too. Me too, every day.
Yes.
Okay, and now touching a little bit more into you going to entrepreneurial side, how has that felt? What's been like the main changes? What's been the pros and the cons?
It's been a wild ride. So, 27 years. I mean, I graduated Florida State University and that summer went into pharma at 22 years old. So I was
Mhm.
given a company car, a credit card, a salary, and then was on bonus. And I love learning and I love learning about science. So it was something that came very naturally to me. I also really enjoy connecting with people. So the both of those worlds colliding together was a nice fit for me.
Uh-huh.
Again, 27 years. Clearly, it was a good
Yeah.
run. And then yeah, I just decided the studios to get out of the pharma world and try entrepreneur. My husband owns a law firm, so he had already gone down that road. But it's been a huge learning curve going from business to business essentially to a
Mhm.
consumer based consumer facing,
Right.
where I'm also responsible for the daily activities and I'm responsible for taking care of my team. So that definitely was different than showing up, doing your job really
Mhm.
well, and then
And that's
kind of
it.
hanging your hat up at the end of the day. Exactly. Now it's like 24/7, 7 days a week.
I get it, 100%.
Y-
You end up working way more. It's great. It's beautiful. It's worth it, but you never
Yep.
disconnect. Like
No.
you can't.
And I'm fortunate. I have a great team, so they're highly,
Beautiful.
communicative. We also do a really great job as a franchise training people on the modalities and making sure the customers have the best experience in the studio. So
Mhm.
I am very grateful that I have a team of people when I can't be there that they
Mhm.
um, they are there to keep everything on block.
Yeah, there's that power of delegating and finding good people. It's the only way. And
For
sometimes it's
sure.
hard. Sometimes it's hard to find that good people, but it's a lot of trial and error and also letting them make their mistakes sometimes, even though it's hard.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. Give them the autonomy. Absolutely.
Exactly. Okay. And what do you think that was the biggest challenge when you started the studio?
Well, I'd been a client, thankfully, so I
Okay.
knew how the client experience should feel.
Mhm.
And again, I think thankfully, because of my background with sales and marketing, I did a lot of connecting with local businesses. We still do a lot of collaborations with other wellness businesses.
Okay.
Um, but just, I think for me, the day to day, like knowing it is all at the end of the day, it's make or break, and it's, you know, on me. um, so, I mean, as a team as a whole, but at the end of the day, it's my responsibility. And
Mhm.
so I think just being able to temper, seasons are very different,
Mhm.
with sauna in the summer versus sauna in the winter.
Right.
So kind of expecting the unexpected to some degree, I think has been a big challenge for me because I am so like, oh, we'll plan it out and then we'll
Mhm.
see, we'll execute and then these things will happen. And sometimes it's like, nope, that isn't what happened.
Right.
Curveball, let's go back to the beginning. So that I would say, ongoing lesson.
Ongoing lesson, and it never stops.
Mm-mm. No, the market's always changing.
Mhm. Okay, and what are some of those collaborations that you've had?
So we are wildly fortunate in Park City that we have a ton of women owned wellness
Mm,
or
I
women
love it.
run wellness. So in our community, we have F45, Stretch Lab, Elements Massage, oh gosh, Peak 45, a lot of other wellness places, Bow Collective, that they're women that either have been here for a while in the community. So they've been amazing mentors, which I'm
Mhm.
so grateful for,
Mhm.
and the other women that maybe were, still in that up and running phase of 1 to 3 years are very interested in supporting each other. So we've done things
Oh,
like
wow.
Friends in Wellness, where we'll support another wellness studio for the month, invite them, their clients in for a complimentary sauna or float session,
Mhm.
in the hopes that we can, support their health and wellness. They then will reciprocate. We've done some holiday things together. We did something last year called Muddy May. So as the snow melts here, you can't quite bike and the skiing is over. So we did
Mhm.
a big community activation with about 12 other businesses. And we offered free wellness business offers to our community for them to come try things that maybe they haven't
Oh,
experienced.
wow. I love it. The power of community. And I love to hear that it's like a
Absolutely.
woman-based effort as well. So
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah. It's been nice to support and collaborate versus having a competitive
Yes.
mentality,
Uh-huh.
which is not, I feel like, not common. I feel like it's more of a unique scenario. So I feel very
Yeah.
fortunate.
There's this great phrase that I've seen that says, the people at the top are not competing, they're collaborating. It's
Absolutely.
100% true.
Yep. I agree.
Okay, can you explain a little bit more the part of the float part? What exactly is that?
Yeah. So are you familiar with float therapy at all?
No.
Okay, so most people, when they look up a float, they're going to find something that looks like a large egg, and they call them a pod. And
Mhm.
so you're supposed to get in and close this lid on yourself.
Uh-huh.
And a lot of people feel like it's constricted, or claustrophobic, so they're a little
Yes.
hesitant to do so. We have a suite, and so hard to picture, but it's essentially a room within a room. So it's 7 feet tall,
Okay.
7 feet long. There's little pinpoint lights on the ceiling, so it looks like stars.
Oh.
Underneath the water, there's light and really pretty, like heart chakra or Tibetan bowls, really nice,
Mhm.
just kind of instrumental soundtracks or sound baths.
Mhm.
Within the float, we have 1,500 pounds of medical grade Epsom salt that has
Oh,
been dissolved into body
wow.
temperature water.
Oh, I love
Yes.
that.
So you step in, it's only about 10 to 12 inches of water, but
Uh-huh.
when you sit down, as soon as you lay back, you just pop up on the water. So most people have a hard time trusting the water, but
Mhm.
it will hold you no matter what. Like you're floating if you've never floated before.
Mhm.
And allowing yourself to rest in that environment is so good for reducing cortisol levels, the stress.
Mhm.
Most of us are magnesium deficient. So Epsom
Okay.
salt is magnesium sulfate, much better absorbed through your skin than orally. Skin is our largest
Mm.
organ, so you're drinking in that magnesium. And then they call the float environment rest. It's restricted external stimulus. And so it allows your brain to rest from phones and cars and traffic and TV and all the things that we're taking in, every second of the day. So it's really good for brain health. And being in Park City, we've got a lot of athletes who train wildly hard and unfortunately have suffered concussions.
Oh,
And so we
wow.
have had 13-year-olds, 18-year-olds, into the adulthood that have come in for concussion therapy to help with
Wow.
that injury.
Oh, beautiful. I didn't know that could help with concussion. So I've
Yes.
heard about like salt pools. I didn't know it was also called like a flow therapy thing. And I've heard of the
Yeah.
benefits of salt pools, and actually a lot of uh well, houses with a lot of money, they're building salt pools instead of regular pools, because now we know all those
Yes.
benefits.
Benefits of salt, absolutely.
Yes. Beautiful. Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
And it sounds, I'm sure it's so relaxing.
So
Okay.
relaxing. It's my favorite thing. So the first time I floated, I was again suggested to do it after doing numerous saunas. And I looked at the pod and thought, what am I supposed to do in there? Like, why?
Uh-huh.
And then just had one of the best nights of sleep. Like, I just was able
Wow.
to really relax in the water.
Mhm.
Pregnant women, so second and third trimester, they love coming into the studio and regularly float it. Being buoyant eliminates all the pressure in your back and hips and spine. Same thing with shoulder injuries,
Mhm.
back injuries, neck injuries. And it's really play like at times. Sometimes I'm doing mental gymnastics and I just want to bounce off the walls and stretch in there. So
Uh-huh.
it really is just a nice, we offer 40 and 60-minute floats. It's just a nice escape for a small
Wow.
part of your day to just really connect with yourself. You can get into theta states where you're not quite awake, not
Mhm.
quite asleep, and it can be an incredibly creative space as well. So
Mhm.
people will ask if they hallucinate in there. And I said, it's not so much hallucinations, but the creativity allowing your, brain to kind of do its thing while you're in there is
Uh-huh.
cool.
Correct. And how does it work? Like, do people pay for a membership, or they pay for for sessions? How is it?
We always recommend a membership. That's our
Okay.
locals pricing. So it gets down to $16 a sauna, $45 a float. So it's very reasonable for everybody to be able to
Yeah, that sounds
access the
good.
services. Yes, and then we also have packages. We've got a lot of visitors that come into Utah, or we've got a lot of people in the Park City area that are part-time Park City, part-time
Mm.
California, Florida, somewhere else. So in that case, we'll offer packages, and those are shareable, which is nice. And then we
Okay.
do have drop-in rates, and then we are affiliated with ClassPass as well. So we get a lot of people that visit from other areas, and ClassPass is linked into MindBody, who's on the back end of our booking system, so they
Mhm.
can come in and their class pass credits at the studio too.
Got it. Very nice. A lot of options,
Yeah.
because I know that sometimes there's a lot of clubs that you cannot really get in unless you have the membership. Even sometimes it's like for 2 months that you have to pay. So I love that
Yep,
you guys have so much options for everybody.
definitely.
Taking into account that a lot of people now are um, they're digital nomads too. They go here and there, and sometimes you cannot like really. I mean, you could pay for 2 months, but maybe you're not even gonna stay that long.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, we have people that are in, I'm in for 30 days. And then we just
Yes.
had the big HBO film with Steve Carell and those guys filming out here. And a lot of the HBO people were coming in,
Uh-huh.
which was cool, like the
Very
costume
cool.
designers and
Oh,
set people and
wow.
whatnot. But, same thing. They're here for a certain period of time. So they were able
Mhm.
to do packages and give things to each other. So yes, we make it style. We can make it fit.
Mhm. Nice. Okay. And
Yeah.
what mindset has helped you the most as you've built? this business?
I think staying community focused.
Mm-hmm.
I love connecting people. It's one of the things I really enjoy doing in the community when I find somebody who either I've utilized for something myself. I have a friends and wellness board in the studio, so clients can also access those individuals, their businesses, all tried and
Mm,
true. But I do think just connection. And for me, the biggest thing of opening Pure Sweat was knowing how it positively impacted my life. I wanted to share that with other people. And
mm-hmm.
so it's really cool to see a client come in, whether it's pain, sleep, whatever the case may be, and to go through this journey with them where then they are telling us, oh, I went on vacation for a week or two and I could tell I didn't do my sauna. I know that I'm in need of it. And they start to see the positive changes in themselves, or friends and family around them start to say, gosh, I noticed that you seem happier, or your
Uh-huh.
skin looks so bright, or whatever it is. That's really like, those are the days when someone shares something like that, that it's like, ah, yes, this is why we do this.
Exactly. This is all worth it. What I don't
Exactly.
know. What a gift to be able to help people with their state and their wellness. Like
Absolutely.
not just because a lot of businesses are about making people more money, but this is something that we're all needing and sometimes lacking. So what a blessing.
It is,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay, now let's talk a little bit about digital marketing.
Yes.
Okay, so as being in a local business like this, how important has been for you to have a digital presence or to have any digital marketing strategies?
It is important. Again, with all the visitors, somebody comes in and Googles sauna or
Uh
flow. I mean, we've had people that have landed at the Salt Lake airport. They're on their way to Park City. They can't check into their hotel yet, and they'll come rolling in with their luggage.
huh.
Um, and we're like, "How did you find us?" Oh, I looked up sauna or infrared sauna, and we're like, okay, great.
Nice.
Lots of visitors, so having a presence. I mean, obviously people now, Instagram,
Mm,
Facebook, even the chamber for Visit Park City, we'll have specials or things or a presence run there. They did something last year called a mountain kind card to help local businesses. So I think more and more the digital space is so important. I mean, TikTok, I'm a dinosaur, I'm 50, so TikTok and some of those other things are like very foreign
very
to
new.
me. Thankfully, I've got a young lady in the studio that has
Cool.
a degree in marketing. And,
Uh,
I have a degree in marketing, but Canva didn't even exist when I was in school, neither
right.
did Instagram.
Exactly.
So that's been a big learning, and, making sure you've got the right people that are just, dialed into
Hmm.
what's happening now, and, what things, the algorithms and all of those things. So, but
I
I do
know.
think digital is really important.
Yeah, and 100%. Somebody that it's very dialed in, as you said, and that it's constantly learning because, as you mentioned, the algorithm changes all the time. Things change all the time, and so you need to be there, just really knowing how to do whatever changed. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And from all of the digital marketing strategies that you've done, which one do you think that's been the best in regards of like growing the business or attracting new clients?
So because of Park City, we've done more local advertising. So
Hmm.
there's a company here called Town Lift. So they put out digital. They've got an Instagram. They've got a website and things, and they'll post through some of the other news feeds that even I said. And that's been really successful just because it's very, very local. Ironically,
Hmm.
I was just recommended to look at Nextdoor, which I had never considered before,
Uh-huh.
but somebody was like, oh, as a neighborhood, we kind of pop on there to see, what's going
Mm.
on. Facebook, I am not as savvy. Instagram, I'm slightly better. I would not say I'm savvy at any of the social media,
Uh-huh.
but I do think, Instagram, and then working with some of the ambassadors or influencers in the area,
Hmm.
even micro influencers, which is a whole new
Hmm.
term to me.
Well, sometimes they say that these micro influencers can give you better results than the big ones. Because
Hmm.
sometimes they say that they have their audiences are way more connected to them than when somebody is so big they have a very wide audience that could be not really that connected. So I've heard a lot
Yeah,
about the micro ones.
yeah, it's been good.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And what do you think's been the biggest challenge for you guys related to digital marketing?
Gosh, we did some lead generation with a big company, and that
Mm.
I think just because of our market was a bit challenging. It was more like taste test kind of things. Like they're being fed something on Meta, some type of an offer, people click on it. We're then reaching out to them, and there were just a lot of dead leads on it. So I would say in our
Mm.
specific market, that wasn't necessarily great. I think in a bigger city, and I know some of the other
Mm.
studios have had really good success with that. But
Mhm.
being, very market specific, I would say for us, that wasn't the best thing we've done from a marketing perspective so far.
Yeah, I've seen that too. Sometimes it happens because Facebook tends to like it works with audiences. So sometimes it can bring a little bit of a like too much like a very broad kind of audience that there's no way to really make it that specific. So putting like that limitation plus the location limitation, sometimes that could happen. Just people that are not really very quality leads.
Right.
And how
Agreed.
about Google Ads? Have you guys done any Google Ads?
So I don't think we have done Google. Actually, yeah, we probably have done Google Ads. And I'm in the process of talking with a marketing company now that's going to help sharpen our SEO. We are,
Nice.
as a franchise, not supported from a national SEO perspective at our
Okay.
studio location. So we're each responsible for our marketing budget
Mm.
locally as well as our own SEO. It can be
Mm.
challenging because all of our locations tie into the franchise location. So it's,
Right.
it goes up through them and then comes back down through us. So we try to get creative with some organic things that we can do,
Uh-huh.
but always looking to improve, SEO from that perspective. But we've done, I think, a lot more meta than we have on Google.
Got it. So how does that work with a franchise? Like for example, if you guys are gonna do any type of ads, they have to review it like from up top to make sure that you guys can use certain words, or it's not like that. Yeah, that's how it works.
Yes,
Okay.
so it is. Yeah, so they just want approval to make sure that it's, on brand with franchise.
Mm-hmm.
So the copy, the
Mm-hmm.
images, etc. And they do give us a lot of different images that we
Okay.
then can, put copy to or put an ad or some type of an offer.
I would say I kind of like that you guys are like owners of your doing your local digital, because sometimes even though it's good that somebody like could take care of it, sometimes you guys have not as much control. So you guys having that availability, even though you guys have to consult about the copy and everything, you guys can be a little bit more owners of that project. And I think it's good because every business owner could decide how much money they want to put into it, if it's working, what the different things that they want to test. So I think I like that method because I've heard about franchises that it's like up the top. Only the top, like the headquarters, do the advertising and they share it or something like that.
Yeah, there's some like other wellness that they'll
Mhm.
do all the social media for their franchise locations. And then I think it's more like, oh, find a location near you type of
Right.
thing. I'm not exactly sure how it trickles down.
Exactly. Got it. Super. Well, thank you so much, Stacey. Is there any place where listeners can learn more about you or the business?
Yeah. So on Instagram, we're at Pure, Sweat, Park City. We also have a Facebook, Pure Sweat and Float Studio, Park City. And you guys can always go on the website. We're puresweatstudios.com. You can find the locations. You can look into our journal is located there. So a ton of information around various issues, I would say challenges we've all faced in our life,
Mm.
from pain, sleep, hormones. We've got some information on there about limes, with the infrared sauna, and then as well as float. And some of our studios have cold plunge as well.
Okay.
So lots of information on there that you can go on and read from, different people's perspectives, and then check out a location near you.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Stacey.
Yeah.
I learned a lot. It was amazing.
Thank you so much for having me. And I hope you are able to find something near you to help with your shoulder.
Yes. Oh my God. Please. I'm definitely gonna search because I have to keep doing it.
Yes, yes.